How are you guys? Where is... Okay, so those are all set. Yay! Although, let me empty the cup. But how are you guys? How is your Wednesday? Hopefully you guys are doing well. Let me... Cool. Cup is empty. Yay! Hopefully you guys are enjoying this Wednesday so far. Not been up to terribly much on my end. Pretty much ventured outside for a little bit because I required things and stuff. Also, the heck is that? What do you want, chat settings? Is it anything important? Review? What refresh views? The hell are you talking about? Oh. Okay, I never marked those as complete. That's why. That's for the channel points thing. I apparently forgot I didn't do those. And then... Oh, crap. And what are those requests? I don't see anything. It always says some shit, but I don't see anything. Anyway, that's something that could probably be dealt with later. Anyhow. Again, not much ventured outside. Outside is cold. Shocking, I know. December. Which, how is it we're in December? It's kind of insane. This is like the last part of the year. Last bit of time to get things, you know, all said and done until 2022. Even though we kind of haven't really fully dealt with the ramifications of 2021 yet. Hell, not even 2020 have we fully really dealt with, arguably. And yet here we are. Last month of the year here. Also, let's move that over. Cool. As stream title says, gonna be working on a Draw This in Your Style. Had the sketch sitting around for a little bit. Currently in the midst of LineArt, which I'm not sure if I will have that fully done by today. Also, let's move this mic closer to my face, since that's currently available to me. Which I'm gonna turn the mic down a little bit, given how close it is to my face. And we should be all set here. But yeah, so Draw This in Your Style involving frogs. Which is adorably cute. And let's go over here to where that is. But yes, do not have terribly much to exposit in me-related stuff and or stream things. Although, I realized I almost forgot. Finished the wallpaper yesterday to the best that I liked it to be. So that's currently available on the Ko-fi page and or in the Twitch chat for anybody who is subbed and is in the Discord, essentially. That's not going to show because I don't have that window up right now. Why are we lagging? Please don't do that. There it is. Ta! Upper left-hand corner, that is the Draw This in Your Style in question that I'm currently doing. And this is my interpretation at the moment, which, yeah, just out of the sketch phase. Going into the line art. I had wanted to have the line art done, but given me venturing outside, I did not have the time to do it, clearly. So, we'll see how that goes. Also, let's see. Line art. There are like a few things I kind of want to fiddle around with too. So again, given, you know, the typical 3-hour streaming format, not sure if I'll have the time to do what I want to do, because I wanted to at least get to the start of the flat colors, but I suspect that is not going to happen today. Which the due date for this is the 10th, December 10th. So this might make another appearance next week before I enter it in. Like to do some cleaning up and finishing of things. But we will see. There's no guarantees on that. Oh, it'd help if it was actually the brush. I have not really had time to warm up frilling. Okay. Yeah, it might just be just me. Excuse me. My bad. Apparently sneezing seems to be the theme of the day. Again, likely because dusty bookshelf. Which, no, I did not get the time to clean during my somewhat of a break. Oh, so for anybody who gets motion sick, I'm sorry. There's going to be a lot of rotating of canvas as far as today is concerned, which is kind of why I wanted to get this bit done, but before I streamed, but alas, that was not meant to be. Nope. Also, I might go into focus mode when I work on bits of this, so if I suddenly am not paying attention to chat and or, you know, am not talking as much, that is likely why. So, my bad. Yeah, it's a thing licensed to happen. So, if anybody's curious about what drawing program I am using, feel free to ask. Although, also, you can actually check one of my panels on my well, technically below the screen if you're on a PC, and what is it, the About Me section if you're on a mobile device, if I am not mistaken. God, my hands are annoyingly shaky today, and I have not had any caffeine. Ugh. And I have stabilizer on. Oh wait, no I don't. I thought it did. Because it seems to want to do that whenever I close this thing, typically. Okay, that makes things slightly better. I just assumed I had it on. You think I would know better by now. Do not assume things when it comes to technology, ever. Which, considering I don't really use green that much, which, not like I don't like green, but green I feel like tends to not be a color I use terribly much. That and orange, arguably. So this should be interesting. There's no orange in this, but There is green, clearly. So, that definitely should make things. But I have not decided on colors. I don't think I'm going to go, like, just straight with what the colors are available. I haven't decided where I will go in that direction either. But I do want to make sure I at least plan that out before I start with the flat colors. So if I do manage to get this line art done, that will likely be the direction I take, depending on how much time I have left during streaming question. Which, to note, I did sketch this on my tablet, so I imagine things are going to end up being a little bit more stiff now that I'm drawing it on my computer. And I mean, what I mean drawing it on my tablet, as in literally my Samsung tablet, so I can actually see what my hands are doing. Which, in the future, I'm half considering maybe investing in a visual tablet. I am not entirely sure that's gonna be the case, but I am certainly open to the idea. Let's see if that could potentially help me improve art stuff and things. Although at the same time, I definitely couldn't hurt to have me brush up on fundamentals and such. That's the thing I've definitely noticed once I like start applying line art, at least on here. Things tend to get a little bit less flowy. In comparison to other sketches. But that's just my opinion. Plus, I tend to nitpick myself like no one else. And it's a very hard habit to disengage from. I'm like, it's not like I don't like my art or anything. I do. But I'm just like, look at all the flaws. And it's like, I'm pretty sure enough people won't notice, like, any of the 25 things that I happen to have on my mind. Come on, don't do that. Okay. But I have to say, I did enjoy sketching this puffy hooded shirt. Because it's not something I do, but it's nice and freeform and allows for a bit more looseness in the sketching phase. Plus it does help I did like use a bit thicker lines when it came to the pencil. which they were thicker than this and I had to like cut them down because I realized I was like, oh, these lines might be a little bit too thick for what I'm trying to accomplish here. So yeah, I had to cut them down a little bit with the eraser. Although I did not mind that either. Mm-hmm. I knew that was gonna happen. It's always hard to do shit like that. Let's see. Let's move a little bit further out. That'll mean I have less space to travel. Nope. Still don't like that because that is not as smooth as I would like it. Eh. Nope. Then, yeah, other way. Although I think I could probably add more crease lines in here to emphasize the bagginess of this thing. Although I don't want to go too overboard about it, so... Also, how about I move that so I don't have to see that right now? Don't like the lines, they are very crappy right now. There we are. Let me zoom in a little bit and clean up that area right there. Why are we not? Well, I had done it so it would autosave. That was mildly inconvenient. Gently. Frolic! Hello. How goes? How are you? Also, how is your Thanksgiving? And also, happy holidays to you, whatever they may be. I am here doing some line art. For a draw this in your style, that is due on the 10th. Well, it ends on the 10th, not like this is homework and it's due. Time. Yay! Feeling pretty. Aw. Need to get Advent set up. Ooh, Advent! Is it like a yarn Advent calendar or something? Which, that would be fun. I'm glad your Thanksgiving went well. Mine was a bit quiet. I actually took the latter of the week off, so you've missed slightly less than you think you did. I just wanted to take some time to myself. We actually... okay, okay. I wasn't aware that that was a thing. But, it's not like I'm the most knowledgeable person on the earth on things. How does that work? Also, let's get this wrinkly. And let's see the whole annotation. Okay. That certainly makes sense. Biblically speaking, anyway. That's what little I know definitely comes from that. No! Devotions with a Jesse tree telling a story of... okay. Do not know who that is, but... okay. I think I get where you're going with that. But that definitely sounds interesting. That you're learning about, you know, the... people involved in regards to, you know, the coming of Christmas and such. And that method. Okay, where are we? Yeah, see, it was an old... okay. Okay, that definitely sounds familiar. So basically, it would be his rendition of, you know, how things came to pass in that telling. Okay. Okay, then that would make sense that you would use that telling then. Oops, also, let me erase that. Gentle. Also, yeah, that might have to go up a little bit. because I hadn't heard of it being like, you know, a house in a line, because, you know, houses in lines, we have beer hour. That's also interesting and also fun. Lots of yummy. Yeah, I would say so. I am not terribly much of a beer person. Well, not terribly much of an alcohol person in general. I don't dislike alcohol. I have it on occasion, but it's more of a, you know, I very much don't like alcohol that has the alcoholic aftertaste to it, like, really strong. Like, that bothers me, taste-wise. So basically, I'm the, if alcohol does not taste like alcohol, I will have it kind of person. It's like noted. Yeah, like, if I didn't dislike the aftertaste that most alcohol has, then I'd probably be slightly more inclined to have it. Strong token acid. Well, that's certainly one way to have it. Ah, come on. My LineArt is a mess and I don't like it. I mean, yes, it's not that bad, but... Oops. There. Okay, also... Oops. Pressing a little too hard on the pen. When do you open the first day, or have you done that already? Given it's the first day of December. Also, how does a beer advent work? Yeah, but I mean, I wondered if it was like, you know, tonight, given, you know, alcohol. Started last Sunday, only one day short of the maximum 4 weeks. Oh, okay. We open it in the evening. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. I always take Advent, given, you know, Advent calendars are always 24 days. So, like, the 24 days before Christmas, so... Or at least if I'm saying that correctly. I didn't realize it could be 4 weeks. Huh. That is a thing. I have learned a thing. Yeah, 1 beer. Yay! Awesome. Yeah, I've never personally had an advent calendar, but I know they're usually like the 24 days leading up to Christmas, so... I did not realize it actually goes longer than that, but... The more you know. Where are we? Also, my face is like less than an inch. It is exactly 4 Sundays in the church calendar preceding the... Ah! Okay. Okay. That makes sense. I imagine they wanted to keep it more even. Instead of having it be like just over 3 weeks. Because it's what? 24 days is just about 3.5 weeks. So having it round out to be 4 weeks would make more sense. The advent calendar start. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. I clicked the thing for the eraser for a reason. Oops. This down here is looking a little bit thicker than it should be. So let's fix that. I really should look up how many holidays are in December. Given, you know, there's like quite a few, but you know, typically, at least on the calendar, it's Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, and, you know, Christmas are the ones that get. Also solstice. Arguably. I've totally forgot about this year, so I need to get my favorite Beal Store to pick out a bunch of things for me. Don't forget that too. I guess that's sort of like a prerequisite. Oh yeah, also I forget Boxing Day, but Boxing Day is Canada, typically. Although, arguably with that, I think there was a tradition and then it just turned into, like, you know, what Black Friday is now, where it's just like, hey, let's just have some sales. I think it was like, you know, how Boxing Day was like, I think they traded days, like, like, think of it as like a, I guess, Freaky Friday situation, if you know that Disney reference. But yeah, generally it was like, hey, live a mile in someone else's shoes for a day? I think was the general gist of it. But I would have to definitely double check on that because I am not quite sure because I don't think I have done research on that, arguably. That's the general gist I've gotten from what little I know on that matter. I think I just like to... Also fair. Certainly not a bad thing to celebrate the things and stuff of your life and of the season. So other than looking forward to opening a calendar of fun tonight, what are you been up to today? Has a sign that says happy everything. Well, that covers everything. So that works. I would like to move along from this goddamn arm. But there's so many things. Oops, no. No. Excuse me. Yeah, really do need to dust the shelf, because that's the only reason why I've been sneezing. Because I didn't sneeze all today yet. Despite my hubby's had double the work to do the week before. Oh no. That makes sense, but oh man. That is definitely no fun. But you have to make it up somehow, so that makes complete sense. Oops, don't do that. Color, yeah. Although at the same time, yay for guaranteed salary at the same time, so you win some, you lose some, arguably. Oh, I missed that. I think I was worried about getting that line straight was what my issue was at the time. There it is. And let's move that up a little bit. Which I was using this yesterday and it did a weird thing where I was trying to draw and then all of a sudden it just jumped to the bottom of the page. It was really weird. Not sure why it was glitching out like that. I've never seen it do that before. And let's tilt this canvas a little bit. Because at this point, I think I was still doing line art without realizing the stabilizer wasn't on. Because my hands tend to be a wee bit shaky, so doing line art is kind of an annoying aspect. Once we get to the coloring, it's not so bad, but the line art portion is where I am very much tortured. Oh, so I don't think I showed you what I'm working on, so let me zoom out for a second. This is a draw us in your style thing I did a quick sketch of, and I decided that torturing myself with annoying hand up here was a good idea. A friend can tell you how much I kind of internally screamed while working on it. I managed to finally get it where it doesn't look like absolute garbage to me, so that's good at least. 'Cause hands are a pain when it comes to drawing them. Not the worst thing ever, but they are certainly a pain in the ass part of drawing things. I don't do... Yeah. But I imagine, most people understand, the technicality of getting, things to look how they're supposed to look, like hand in a certain position, especially if it's a weird position. Getting it to look how it's supposed to look is absolute torture. Also, I didn't need to erase that. I want to go with this. So I can get the line a little bit better. Exactly. Fair enough. But yeah, despite my annoyances, I enjoy it a lot. Plus, I've been doing this well, not specifically digital art, but drawing in general since middle school? Alrighty. Oh yeah, I should have figured you were in the middle of your workday. Enjoy your lurk. I appreciate you. Alright, let's zoom in here. Yeah. I knew I saw that little bit right there. Also, I think I mentioned this earlier, but do have wallpaper available on the Ko-fi. Latest one, which is still Halloween based because, you know, that one took a little bit longer than I expected. However, I am not sure if I'll be able to get another one out by the end of the year. We will see. Considering I do have one has been sitting around that I'd hoped to get done a while back. Well, it wasn't originally planned to be a wallpaper. It was planned to be something I put on Redbubble, but unfortunately, in light of some things, I was just like, you know what? Not dealing with Redbubble no more. Which, that was just my personal choice in the matter. And I'm perfectly fine with people using the site in question, but definitely be careful of, you know, getting your stuff pilfered and ripped off and put on other sites. Although, it's not just, you know, what's their face? Not just a Redbubble thing. So, yeah, they're not like, you know, the sole ones to blame in that regard. But given they have, like, a form for that sort of thing, I was like, I don't feel comfortable about this anymore, so let's not do this. Plus, nothing was really going on traction-wise, so it felt... what's the word I'm looking for? It felt foolish to put work into something that wasn't getting me anything in return, is what I'm saying. I had hoped for at least, you know, some semblance of, like, passive income, but that didn't work out that way, which, it happens. Things don't work out how you plan them to, so, such is life. You figure out other things. Also, my mom wants to knit her a hat. She's like, I'm not gonna give you more than $20 for it. Oh, that's gonna be pretty much a plain stockinette hat, plus with yarn I already have. So, it's fine. Because she happened to see a hat I had sitting in the basket. A small hat, which that was supposed to be I think a donation for a charity thing I never got around to sending, unfortunately. So I was like, might as well use the yarn since it's sitting there. And yes, arguably I can get more yarn, but I do not feel the want to have to walk into a yarn store, especially in light of the latest crazy going on, which more than likely that variant is already here. Like, the horse has already left the barn at this point in time. So it's literally, I feel like, just a matter of when in regards to that, so that's a thing. So I think, especially given it's holiday season, probably gonna curb what little outside time I have, which is not much to begin with, because, you know, given the start of this, I've been avoiding outside as much as humanly possible. Unless it's for, you know, anything of necessity. Also. Which, okay, that's what I thought. But yeah, you guys definitely are going to need to be very careful out there and do all the stuff. Although I certainly hope you guys were doing most of the stuff anyway, considering, you know, still ye old plague at this time. Never really stopped, unfortunately. But that's in part due to the fact that, hey, some people aren't doing their part, and, you know, also I need to sniffle. Oh my god, why is my nose like this? Sorry. I was starting to do the thing and it drives me nuts. Let's see. What was I saying? Horse had already left the barn. And especially given, you know, everybody's getting together because, holiday season, definitely be careful. Stay as safe as you possibly can. But yeah, numbers are gonna probably go up following holiday season. This is gonna be fun. Although they're already saying numbers are going up anyway. Like, holiday season's not even over. Because for my state, it's at, like, what? 5%, according to them? 9 in, like, Jersey. Which, you know, they'll only do, like, at most the tri-state area. No clue what the around the country is gonna look like. Especially given, you know, some states are a lot more cooperative than others, so for others it's gonna be a complete and utter shit show. Come on. Yeah, sorry, trying to keep talk about it to a minimum, but it's pretty much hard to avoid at this point in time. Because A, it's on my mind, B, it's like, this is basically what we're gonna come into the new year about. Although I suspect it's gonna be downplayed a little bit. In some places. Alright, let's hide you for a moment so I can get that to look somewhat decent. Do. Yeah, I was still freehanding at that point. So it's gonna look a wee bit messy. Oh yeah, this reminds me, I still have not sketched that emote that I had an idea about. Probably will not get to that today. I'm not in a hurry on that. Which, I might just put that in the follow emo section. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Which, arguably, that emote's definitely, Christmas-centric. Although, I do just want to have, like, a snowflake to generally note that it's winter. I really am gonna have to deal with that eye. That's gonna bother me. Ugh. Because I'd forgotten half. More like neglected to put a spot for the rest of the face on the hoodie. Given it's a sketch, I don't have to follow it absolutely. It's not like it's set in stone once you sketch something. I'll definitely have to be mindful of that. Alright, hand. Let's zoom out. Okay, I'm through most of the hoodie part, which is not bad. How long until... Oh, it's actually the hour point. Whoops. Let me at least put that over here. I can get a little detail or two and then actually take my break. Which, for anybody wondering where my water is, water bottle, once again, out of convenience. Also, so I don't have to remember to fill it every single time. Because that holds about a, what is it, liter or so? But at the same time, I tend to not like having it be absolutely full. So I tend to fill it like I'd say 2/3 of the way. Which is arguably a good amount of water. Oh, so my back's gonna hate me by the end of this, given how I'm going about this right now. Again, reasons why I need a comfy chair at some point. Yes, it's on the eventual to-do list. An important email flashing in my direction. Yeah, it's gonna definitely be messy, but I wanted to at least get that area put in at least, and then come back and fix it later. Arguably, I don't need this area of it. Yeah, because the hand's gonna block that point in question. So I arguably don't need it in full. Nope. Why are we doing that? Alright, let me save what I have and take my break before I sit here and stare at this thing for like a good 20 minutes. But yeah, other than the binds of like, you know, clothes folding, pretty much done with the hoodie. So basically it'd be the hands, the face, and the hair I'd really need to get through. Which, the only thing that I really have a problem with is, honestly, I'd say part of the... Not part of the face, specifically the nose. The nose looks off. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this side of the nostril on the left side is different from the right side. So it's not even, and it's driving me insane. Other than that, probably want to mess with the hair a little bit, because it feels a little bit flat, but that's honestly just, probably me nitpicking here and there. Anyhow, I'm gonna be right back in usual 10 minutes. Definitely feel free to get up and stretch, have some coffee, tea, beverage of your choice, and or get up and stretch, because that is probably a good idea. Also, feel free to, you know, go off and do things if you need to do so. Yes, hello, hi, I have a face. There we are. Also, it would help if that were back down here. Cool. Had to go over on that side, and therefore I forgot to push the mic back down for a second. But it likely still picked me up since I'm loud enough, arguably. But welcome back, anybody who was hanging out with me before the break. How are you doing? Hope all's good. Anybody who potentially walked in during break time, too. Gonna have a bit of water before I forget. That's better. Clearly, if I talk long enough, my throat's gonna get dry. Interesting, I know. Let's see. Where are we? There we are. Let's see. What was I thinking about? Brain, come on. I was just talking about this thing. But yeah, what I was looking at was Atomic Stacy's, Toasty Toes contest thing, which one of the things you could do is take a picture of some socks, which given I want to take a picture of commissioned socks, which definitely should be done before that end time, which is January... Was it 6th or 8th? I think it's the 8th. It would help if I'd go... Yeah, January 8th. So, definitely, as long as I have socks and throw pictures on there, should be all good. Alright, so... Which, to know is Atomic Stacy, who hangs out here sometimes. Which, if she happens to be here, not calling her out at this point in time, because I imagine she is busy. But yeah, she is hosting a contest, because she's doing like a knit-along, teaching people how to knit a pair of socks. Which is A, very handy, B, very much in for, given that was definitely a thing I did a large amount of time, especially when I was first streaming on here. I still do socks, but it's not like, you know, the sole thing I do on here. But given socks are portable, they don't take up too much space, and also I very, very much like them and pretty much only wear them whether it be around the house or outside. They're definitely my jam. Also, I realized this was a bit too big. And covering chat, which is a very bad idea. Let's move this back so I can get more canvas. There we go. A little more canvas available to me. Because normally I would have this full screen, but, you know, stream means I can't do that, or else I won't be able to see things like chat. Also, getting back to the Toasty Toes thing, if you definitely want to check out or participate, you definitely should be able to go to Atomic Stacy's channel, and to do that, which, let's see. Which I definitely advise going over just for the fun of it, because Atomic Stacy is a lovely crafter who does knitting and sleeve spinning. And it's definitely a fun, very interesting time at times. Because I've walked into things where I'm just like, what's happening? Why is this happening? Why is this being discussed? And it is usually for amusing reasons. Alright, so we're continuing on with LineArt as I chat. Which we're cleaning up the neck that I hastily put in here before I took my break. So I wanted to make sure I got up and stretched, because stretching is important. Also, given my back very much has still been kind of cranky with me, I'm trying to be very, very good about taking the stretch breaks so my back doesn't do the thing and decides walking is not a good idea for a day. Because it very much sucks. Also, I am not sure why I thought it was a good idea amongst all the stuff I have to do, that I thought draw this in your style is a good thing to do. Although, arguably, this is not like too intensive in any way. Given, you know, hoodie in person, which hoodie means I don't have to draw certain aspects, which makes life a bit easier. At the same time, it did honestly put a little bit more on my plate, but I am fine with that. But I do want to get to the actual picking colors portion of this. If not today, maybe tomorrow. Which I'm not streaming tomorrow, but I'm definitely gonna more than likely end up working on this at some point tomorrow. Take a little time to further this over to completion, because once again, I only have until the 10th, which is what is the 10th? Today is the 1st, so let's see, the 8th would be next Wednesday, so that would be next week Friday. There's definitely time to get it done and maybe have some fun with it. But I'm not gonna go like super elaborate or anything. So I don't think I have the wherewithal to do that. Plus, I don't think it's really necessary. Just probably do that hand next now that I'm sitting here. Also, I love the bot decided, hey, since you're doing a shout out, let's spit out stream teams. Which, I know I don't talk about this often, but I do stream for 2 respective stream teams currently. One being, Naughty by Nation. Naughty by Nature. My brain was starting to blend them. Great. Naughty by Nature, run by Little Blue Box, who streams here. I can speak. And it's very much a lovely place. To hang out, although I am not really there on the Discord, just because, I'm in too many Discords, which is arguably a sentiment a lot of you could understand. Because everybody and their brother has a Discord. So, you tend to lose bandwidth very quickly. Plus, there are some people I know have hit the limit, which the limit is 100. I'm like under half that. Not under. A little over half. Jane! Hi! Too many that you don't feel like opening your app and or opening the website, if you use the website. But how goes? How goes Wednesday? I'm here doing line art forever. Probably not gonna get past this stage for today, but we will see if I'm incorrect. Most of mine, I just have the, if anything important's happening, you could send me a thing, like the @everybody thing. But other than that, no. And even in certain Discords, I have certain channels muted if I don't want to hear about certain things. Also, yeah, that's definitely a bit too high of a nail. What the heck was I thinking when I was sketching that? It's the sketch layer for a reason. Oops. Also, how many Discords are you in? I'm curious. But yeah, that's also a reason why I try to make sure my Discord, I don't do the @ping too often. So it's just like, there is enough things going on everywhere. It's like, probably don't need to add to it. Also, apparently I didn't realize there was a whole bunch of, like, knitting shit going on. Because apparently there's a bit of a controversy thing that I didn't realize was happening, and I was just like, oh, okay, so this is happening. Which I haven't gone into the details, like, I haven't, like, had time to really look at it. But it's like, are we on this shit again? But at the same time, I arguably cannot be surprised. Because I feel like that's kind of a thing of society as a whole. Like, knitting space is not the sole area that is guilty of doing, you know, telling how she's... What? I'm sorry, no. What? I didn't hear about this. Why? Sorry, anybody, if I deafen you. Why? Things I don't need in my life. Please don't. Although arguably too late since he's already doing it. But just, no. No, 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 no. You don't need to be running for anything. No. As you can see, I have feelings about this. All of them being, fuck no. He needs to go sit down. List of things I did not want to know and kind of want to pull my hair about. Fuck. I mean, I kind of shouldn't be surprised. Oh, of course! Of course it is! I mean, given the last couple of years in regards to a certain asshole. Where else would he go? They have already shown themselves to be, or at least, you know, some of them have shown themselves to be remarkably gullible enough to vote for someone who has no experience in the political arena. For completely outlandish reasons. And I'm trying to be very, very polite right now, because it's like... If I said what I was thinking... I imagine there would be pitchforks outside my house or something. Yes! When you mix medicine and politics, and you're arguably a doctor, and, you know, you're going into politics, so you're kind of doing what you're saying. You're kind of doing the exact same thing. Just, why? Oh. Contradicting yourself. And this is why I don't stare at the news. I kind of don't want to scream at things. I mean, he wouldn't be the first. And will not be the last one either. So, on that part, it's like, color me unsurprised. Because, of course, I mean, he's displaying a true politician in the sense of using a very terrible time as an opportunity for himself, so, or at least what he deems to be an opportunity for himself. So, he has that. Not sure what else. And, like, argue, like, say, for instance, that he, you know, actually wins somehow. It's like, you really think the other, you know, what is he running as? Other senators would take his ass seriously? Like, no. They will take him as a fucking joke. And thus slow anything to do with progress or any sort of decision making down. So it's just like, you're making things worse, not better. Please go home. Like, I really just want to have the, you know, and sister, where they're telling him, go home, Roger. That is how I feel right now. Although, arguably, at least Roger was fucking useful. Ugh. Oops. Yeah, I meant to do that. Also. Oh, okay. I think I know where I am. Yeah, I'll be screaming about that later. Which, I have a friend in that same state too. So I'll be asking about this later. To him, I imagine he'll just probably sigh. In exasperation. I imagine that's how it'll go. Other than that, how's your day been? Also, anybody who's been listening in headphones, I'm sorry. I imagine I've been very loud in this mic. My bad. Also, please stop lagging. So I just lagged for a second. But thankfully, very brief lag. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Let's... Tired of... So basically no consequences to behavior. Cool. Cool. 'Cause that always works out. Look at the real world. Man, things have changed in a decade. Although, arguably, I imagine that might depend on state by state, too. But, you know. Yeah. Do not like the sounds of that. Although, I imagine they'll give the kids will be kids excuse. Which kind of makes me want to punch people. It's like, kids will be kids if you don't show them, what the hell to do. And basically lean to that as an excuse to be like, you know, hey, I can do whatever I want, right? and you're wondering why kids are doing that stupid Kool-Aid challenge, which I just happened to briefly see the TV yesterday. One of the TVs were on the news channel. They're like, the Kool-Aid challenge on TikTok. And I was like, the what challenge? And I was just like, why? Why are we kicking through fences now? Why is this a cool idea? Why are you all that stupid? Because one, little shits can get potentially really injured. Two, that is property damage. So if you fuck up someone's house like that, they could potentially sue you. I mean, even if it is your own house, I imagine kids' parents would not be appreciative of, you know, that. So, yeah. I swear, the challenges just keep getting stupid, although nothing really beats the Tide Pod ones, which is just like, it's bleach. Why are you doing trying to consume that? Why? Just absolute befuddlement on my end. Sorry, this has turned into the I'm gonna rant about things hour, apparently. My bad. Sorry, it came to mind, and then I was just like, let's go with that. Honestly, if not here, I would have screamed about it elsewhere if I found that out. Because if you didn't tell me, I was gonna find out some other way. So, literally, you're cool. Likely would have been me in the Discord just being like, what the actual fuck? I could just imagine it now. I'm just like, why? I'm just going on a little bit of a rant. Hilariously, I've not had any caffeine. This is just all me driving myself up the wall. I'm trying to not shove caffeine in my face every day, because I imagine that would not do great things for anxiety. Alright, let's see. But at the same time, very much like my tea, so at the same time, you can kind of rip it from my cold, dead hand. So, yeah. Alright, where are we? Alright. Oh yeah, other hand. Other hand needs to exist. Alright. Up here, and then fix the issues with the hoodie, and then basically get to the face here. Which, also, not sure if I explained what the heck I'm doing. Draw this in your style, which, this is the original picture here in the upper left-hand corner. Chaisia, Chaisia, streams here on Twitch, is doing a draw this in your style. I think on Instagram hit like 5,000 the other day or something like that in follows. So I was just like, I had saw this on Debbie because she was doing this, and I was like, oh, it's cute. I can do this. So I'm in the midst of the line art portion of this. I'd wanted to get the line art done before I got on stream today. That clearly didn't happen. But I wanted to at least work on it today. It has a end date of the 10th, so basically I have until next Friday to get this fully done here, which I should be able to do if I work on it off stream, which I do intend to. So I did the sketch on my tablet and moved it over to the computer here. Thank you. Yeah, it really is cute. I really do like the look of it. Which I might not keep the same exact colors as that one. Like play around with the color scheme a little bit. But definitely going to keep the hoodie green. But I think it might be a dark forest green. And then the hair is might be more of like... arguably... could be a pastel purple? I don't know. Although, arguably, these ends are like a pink, so... but I might tweak the color just a little bit. I don't know. I'll figure that out once I plan colors, because I want to make sure I plan my colors before I just start filling it in. So I know how to go about shading, and so on and so forth. Although I'm probably not going to do, like, too in-depth of a shade. Unless I have the time. But yeah, that's just me thinking ahead at this point. Which I was saying to myself, it's like, was it a smart idea to do this at this point? Because I still have socks to do. I'm on second sock, yes. Mostly through the leg. So, definitely a good amount of my time's going to that. And then, arguably, gonna be shop stuff and things, although shop's pretty much been quiet. To my utter frustration. Not sure why, but that's a thing. Also, did I tell you my mom wants me to make her a hat? Because I had some hats I hadn't donated. It was supposed to be a thing for like a couple of years ago. I don't think I donated them. My bad. And I had made them for that thing, but at that time I don't think I had the funds to ship them. Sadly. Which is probably why they stuck there. And then I was just like, hey, you can make me a hat like this, which... can I? Yeah, I can just grab it from here. Basically, whoops. My hand literally knocked the thing and it nearly went down. Cool. But yeah, this hat. I've had it sitting there for a while. Basically, I'm gonna frog this. Because, A, I don't have this yarn. Because this yarn is... What's its face? This yarn is... Michael's Dusty Rose. I think it's Loops and Thread Impeccable. Which... I could go to Michael's and get some. But, given and everything... I don't want to be outside unless it's absolutely necessary. I have some, ooh, I won, and I bought a skein of their mohair. I'm going to hold them together and make it nice. I need to find the right number of stitches for a child hat. Child's hat. Depends on how large, like, you need it to be. Like, is it, like, tween, or is it, you know... legitimately small human. Because I think legitimate small human would be like around 48 stitches or so. Although I'm thinking worsted might be more if you're doing about a DK, which I imagine like a 6-year-old. Okay, yeah. Legit small human. Let's see. And I have DK and mohair. What's the size of the mohair? For adult with the DK. Okay. Yeah, I was like, how thick is the mohair? Arguably, it should keep it about the same if it's lace... Yeah, if it's lace weight, yeah, it should keep it pretty close to the same. That should not change the thickness of your stitches by terribly much, if anything. So, you probably should be able to keep it the same. It would just make it a little fuzzy and warm, which that sounds absolutely lovely for a hat. There it is. I was like, where's the pen? I probably clicked the thing. Okay, and then... How about we don't do that? Cool. And then go about this way, maybe? Alrighty. Thank you for hanging out with me during your lunch period. Good luck with the rest of your workday and informing me about that craziness. Hopefully see you later. I'm literally trying to suppress an eye roll. Oh, God. I don't know how I didn't during that whole monologue I did right there. Of course, what I said about, celebrities running, I don't think... Did I generalize it at all? No, I didn't do a generalization, but probably should now. I feel like celebrities running for office, I feel like can be a mixed bag. I mean, given the whole Kanye stupidness, that was one measure. But I feel like sometimes, they legitimately feel like they can contribute something and go about it through the political arena, which, if they're trying to do the right thing and, make a difference, I could see that being a good thing, but, it can vary. But, obviously the other way is they're doing it to be a massive asshole. So, yeah. My feelings are very, very mixed on the matter. Although it always is kind of weird when it's just like, hey, such and such from this is running for office, and you're just like, dear God, why? Although, arguably, unless they're, like, stupid famous, it's like, they have a better idea of, the issues than the politicians who are just there to punish themselves. Let's also, just to note, definitely have become a bit disillusioned in the political system as we know it. Personally. For obvious reasons. So yeah, that's a thing. I usually try not to bring up the political stuff and things, but it's gonna happen. Still not done with this line art, and I'm not surprised. But I prefer not to rush it. Which I still am gonna tidy it up, because I know it's definitely still questionable in some places. Also, I know I could zoom in. I always have a tendency to shove my face forward, even though I easily could just, zoom in on the screen. Like, I know better, but I can't help it. It's a force of habit that my neck very much does not appreciate. But it's very hard to stop myself. Also, I imagine someone's just gonna clip me screaming about frickin' Dr. Oz. Which, is he from there? Or does he just live in that state? Is that the state he's from? I'm gonna probably Google that later. Do. Need to pay attention to this hen instead of screaming about things that are out of my control. But I will probably do that anyway. Let's see. Oh yeah, Hoodie. Hoodie needs to be addressed. Hoodie needs to be addressed, like, right now. Let's see. Also, what time oh, okay, I have a couple minutes, so before I take second break, so I can at least get that started. Ba-da-da-da-da. Alright, let's hide this. Let's see about... Maybe if I put that back there, then the other one will definitely need to be back there as well, which I think I might just... Oops. Did not mean to do that. Oopsie. I probably should have put that on another layer so I could copy and paste that, but I might be able to trace around it in order to select it and do the same thing anyway. So, let's see. Okay, I mostly got it. Just a little bit right there. Let's see. Copy. And then, let's see. Alright, and then... Okay. How about you please come off? Cool. Alright, so... Wait, then what the hell did it copy? Really? Why? Alright, let's see. What did it copy? If it did not copy anything. Then what did it... Okay. The hell? Why are you like this? Guess? Okay, there's that one. Alright. Okay, then what was the second one about? Alright, so... I should be able to duplicate that. Okay. Okay, cool. Now it did the thing. Yay! And then let's see, I can do that in relation to what I have here. So let's erase the original one that's hanging out right here. Although it would help if I'd actually put it back to the brush. Well, let's hide these two so I can actually see what I'm doing. And then that one goes here, which I'm copying and pasting it so I can make sure that I actually do the thing evenly. Okay, yeah, about here. And then that would put the other one, which I'll need to reflect that first. Mirror? Horizontally? No, not this one. Up here. So I can actually do the thing. Which I have that layer selected, so... Layer... Convert... No, I don't want to do that. Although I might be able to rotate it to get to do the thing, maybe. Definitely should be a way to have that mirror. Da 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 da. Convert. Select. Transform. Thank you. There it is. Let's see. Horizontally. Cool. And then... Now get it to do the thing. Although I'll need to erase that line here and then erase that line there. But that at least... Oh, wrong layer. Like, why am I erasing? So, how about... Yeah. Merge these guys. Okay. That works. It's probably about break time, but I'm gonna get this to work here. Which... Let me check out the reference I have going here. Okay, no. I can actually keep that if I want to. So, let me hide that. Come on. Why is that not... Come on. I am pressing the back button, and it's not doing shit. You know what? Fine. I will add the line back in myself, since you want to be pissy about it. Oh yeah, I think it might have been me doing something that caused that to not do the thing. Okay, never mind. Alright, and then erase little bits as I completely erase the line I just put in. Do. Also, let's... Although, arguably, that's supposed to be fully round. Huh. Did I actually erase something, or is that just how it looks down? Okay, yeah. That might have been just me. Okay. I should definitely take my break before I make my neck pissy at me. Oh, so there's a line on the shirt itself I didn't get to. Oh, fuck, did I? Yep. I must have erased that at some point. Oops. Time for me to put that line back in. And arguably this line as well. And that little bit of a line. And also make sure I save, because not saving very much sucks. Alright, so I guess hair and face is gonna be the last bit of today. I doubt I'm gonna get past that. Although I could be wrong. But we'll see. Also, I still need to put a couple more of the clothes folds in there. We'll see how that goes. Oh yeah, I didn't finish the rest of the face. Whoops. Which I mean, face on the hood there. Which... it doesn't have to be the exact same thing. I could at least have an element or two of it. So I'm not forgetful that it exists. Yeah. Arguably I could just like leave it with that, because the hand's gonna hide a good chunk of the detail, which actually works. And then a little bit of the smile right into about where the hand is, although, yeah. Yeah, about like that. Although, let me move back in. Okay, there's a little bit. Sketchy. Come on. Alright, and yeah. For now, let me go take my break. And then save. And then we'll come back and work on the face and other such things. Hopefully I'll be able to finish the rest of that in my usual 3 hours. I don't want to go too much, if any, over today. Although, arguably I could, end up doing that anyway, so we'll see. I'll be back. Feel free to play the Plinko. Wrong screen. Later on. So I definitely do feel like it needs to... Excuse me. Definitely needs to get, altered in a couple of ways. Not a lot, but definitely some places I personally would like to, alter it. And, where are we? Do another one. So let's see, face and hair. Yeah, face and hair. Okay, why? Here. Save, and then, let's see. Uh-oh, I turned down the opacity. Let's not do that. I don't need to do that, at least for right now, anyway. And, yeah, that nose. Nose is bothering me. I remember that distinctly, because it's not right, at least not in the sketch anyways. Also, I feel like it's slightly off-center, although that's tilted, so it might be fine. Who knows? Went a little bit too far on that line. So anyone who came in during the break, hello, hi. Hopefully you're having a good Wednesday so far. Hope all's well. I'm here working on a Draw This in Your Style currently happening. Currently working on the line art for the respective sketch in question, as you can see here. Which likely not gonna likely be getting past this point for today's stream, and this Draw This in Your Style is due on the 10th, so likely if I'm not done, or if I want to, fiddle around with it some more, it will be here next week, Wednesday, but that's about it. Because I do intend on working on this offline for a bit, given the deadline currently. Alright, let's hide the sketch. Yeah, I feel like I did it the same. Where's... I think it's nowhere near here. Yeah, that's what I thought. The whole thing's on that side, so that trick's not even gonna work. Alright, cool. Although, arguably, if I move... I mean, I could, but I don't want to do that. So, let's see. Let's move me in. Oh, so I really would appreciate the random emails not showing up right now when I don't need them to. Because I just saw it in the corner of my eye, and it's like, I nearly jumped, because I wasn't expecting it. Okay. Wee bit of lag for some reason. Alright, nope. Let's see. Ah! I think that was my hand. Yeah, that must have been my hand. I hate when it does that. Okay, I arguably like that better, so let's see if I erase this. Come back. Oh, so I haven't mentioned this in like arguably a few days or so. But I am thinking about possibly doing, what is it? The Sherlock Holmes game, Crimes and Punishment? As the last game I picked for charity, considering I haven't done that on stream since that one time I tried to do it. And camera angles were driving me up the walls. Which I do want to see if there's like potentially some sort of fix for that, because it kind of drives me nuts. Alright, let me see how that looks in comparison to the other nose. So, move that. Select this one. Come back here. Although, arguably, the whole angle thing's gonna make it look weird. Okay, yeah, not quite right in size. Okay, yeah. And then that would arguably be same. Alright, so let's see. Clean it up first, but definitely gonna erase that one. Let's see. Make sure I put that back, put the sketch back, so I can see where I'm supposed to put the damn thing. And then select you, move it over. Although I think, yeah, I said it was like slightly off-centered. Although, yeah, go there. And then fix the little flaws. Which especially, I feel like these lines definitely be at least a little bit thinner, like I did before. Although, yeah. do, 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 do. Come on. Although, arguably in part this is due to my heavy-handedness at times. I need to sit down and do a nose study, I think. In part for the heck of it. Alright, let's see. Alright, let's turn me back. Although, let me... Yeah, now let's turn me back up. Okay, yeah, that's also a little bit off based on where I would have that. Yeah, although arguably, if I just go with the center of the mouth being a little bit over here instead, then that should fix what the issue is. Oops. I might turn down the opacity on this a bit more, because it is a little distracting. That's better. And time to move the canvas around. And then clear that area. I'm still following the old line, and that's why that's being weird. Alright. Let's see. Nope. Okay, not quite right. Also, I realize I'm doing it shoving my face closer to the screen. Let's see, and then... Oops. Maybe. Maybe. Let's see. Let me zoom out. Because I realize zoom back in tends to make it look weird. Alright, although arguably that nostril's a little bit off. This one over here. Yeah. Like, it's not far out enough, I think. Then gently and throw the eraser. That makes that a little too small then. That makes that look a bit big. Fine. Whoops. Come on, please go forward. Why are we like this? Oh, that's soft-proofing. Let's see. Okay. There it is. Yay! Alright. But yeah, it makes the middle look a little weird. Let's see if I can move that. Not quite right, because I cut off the bottom of it. Let's try that again. There, and then maybe... Okay, maybe something like that. Oops, nope. Accidentally went to the save as. Okay, maybe possibly. Anyway, I'll leave that alone for now. Come back to that later. Do-do-do-do. Oh. The heck? That was weird. That made it look like I was erasing it. That was weird. Alright. Just that. Let me move it up a little bit more. And then let's tilt you a little bit. So I can get my... Whoops. Nope. Nope. Ugh. It is a curved line, man. Nope. No. Alright, maybe somewhat okay. Not sure why I'm putting so much pressure on this. Trying to be light about it. Then other side of the eye going on here. Oh, apparently I'm going outside the line. Careful. Add these lines in here. Then get to the other side. Which I don't think the lines are there. Just added that in my own thing. It's not typically a thing I add to the eyes, but I figured, why not? Also, let's try that again. Finish that. I just want to make sure I don't stray too close to the hair. Which we haven't even gotten to that yet, which... How much time do I have left? Right now, in order to warrant that... Oh, yeah. Ugh. I thought so. Might not be able to get to that. At least I know if I'm gonna finish on time, I likely won't even be able to finish that. Which is fine, I am not in a hurry. I was hoping at least finish the... At least hoping to finish the line art today, but alas... Why? Alright, and... I don't think, did I? No, I didn't. In the original sketch, I probably should give at least. We'll look up, you know. It's an eyelid. Come on. Add lashes here. Alright. Then come over here and then do the same thing. Because it'll be very weird if I didn't do similar on this eye in question. Although I'm going a bit too heavy-handed in places. Ugh. I'll deal with that later, but it's okay. Let's keep the shape for the eyebrows and see how much of the hair potentially get done for right now. Because the eyebrows are not a pressing issue for the moment. Alright, so I'm gonna start from the top. Also, I didn't even do the necklace. Whoops. That's a small detail I can manage. But, let's see. What can I do about the hair, at least for here, anyways. Maybe start from the bottom and go work my way up. Although normally I do it the other way around. But I figure that might help matters if I do it the opposite way. Let me focus on general hair shape and then come through with the detail lines going on. I arguably have made my things a little bit more complicated for myself in the fact that I decided, hey, let's just have this peace sign hand in there. Yeah, arguably. Should come out a little bit more. And then come through up there. Because it would feel a little too flat to the face. Have it going almost straight. Oops. Oh, come on. I want the goddamn eraser, please. And that's slightly better. Do 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 do. Yeah, I might leave that a little bit. Like give it a little bit more floof and flow to it. Do, do, do. At least I have not done terribly much like on the wrong layer, which given this should not need a ton of layers, given, you know, essentially it's gonna be hoodie, which I am thinking a like dark forest green. So basically the hair is gonna need to be pretty light in contrast. That, or I might have to go like, say, pretty much neutral. Not a neutral. Words. Words are hard right now, apparently. But like, say, a mid-tone. That's what I'm looking for. Don't know why I said neutral. But I meant the word mid-tone. So the hair can either be like, you know, on the darker end of the spectrum or really light, and either way should be able to stand out. Also, you can kind of see why me doing the collar of the neckline of the hoodie was kind of stupid, given you're not gonna see like a good 90% of it, given how the hair is. Also, amusing that I said, hey, I'm gonna go from the bottom to the top, and then automatically on the other side, I just start working from the top going down, at least partially. I try not to contradict myself, but it happens. So I did say I prefer the top side, starting from. Alright, let's see. Add the rest of the liner back in and see what we're working with here. Alright, yeah. So that covers in here, so you're not gonna see there. And then right there too. And then pretty much most of the neckline. We haven't even gotten to the collar thing. Necklace, arguably, or a choker. Yeah, choker's probably the better term given the length of it. Let's see. But I wanted to at least have, you know, a difference in the line weights of them. So, you know, the lighter lines would be the hair. And the thicker lines would be everything else in regards to especially the hoodie itself. Which... oh, that covers both of those. Alright, let's see if I can... while I'm remembering to do that, also, how are we on time? Okay. We still have like 2-3 minutes left before I wander off. Which I imagine the lower half would have the rest of this. Which, to note, what I'm talking about is this little bit right here. As you can see, like, a lighter bit, because, you know, sometimes frogs have that. If I'm not mistaken, like, undersides are a bit lighter than, you know, to the tops of them, I think. I am not that versed on amphibians. I know. Shocking. And that is always a problem when you try to work something in. It gets a little bit wonky. Oh, I do technically have a couple minutes because it's not actually 4 o'clock, so I'm guessing I must have started. Yeah, because the counter starts always a couple minutes before, so arguably I do have about 5-7 minutes left, so I have time. To get in this detail, and maybe some of the hairlines, maybe. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Okay. Who's that and what do they want from me? Okay, must be something random here. Let me check. Yep. Yeah, that's what I thought. There it is. Discord thing. Which, once again, it was nothing I needed to look at immediately. Which almost always seems to be the name of the game. Which, you don't have a ping because I have, stream mode on. But, the little number shows up and it's right there on my face and I notice it. And it's very hard for me to ignore until it is checked. It is a personal thing. And it drives me nuts. Do-do-do. How do I feel? Let's see. How do I feel? No, not quite right. Not quite right. Arguably it'd be more, the center would be more this way, especially given the way she's leaning. So let's go over here and then get this to do the thing over here. Because definitely lowest point should be somewhere about here. Although that looks like a mess. Oops. Okay, slightly less like a mess now. Thank you, eraser. Let's zoom in a little bit as I proceed to go the other way. I'm using the mouse pad. I sometimes forget which way I have to touch on the thing to get it to move in and out. Do-do-do. Alright, now time for me to go this way. I don't need to have it, but I definitely want to have it, so I can at least have a detail. So I suspect my want to have it forest green might be the fact that I was working with the grass on that wallpaper, which is definitely of a darker green, but arguably not too vibrant, maybe. Nope. Let's try that again. Oops. Also, arguably this is reminding me of a bear having this there. So, it's definitely gonna be something. If I don't want it, I'll definitely be taking it out. Yep, come on. Also, even though I don't need to, I have a feeling I'm probably going to end up making small human socks for a friend of mine once I get through commission socks. Even though I definitely told him that I'm likely going to wait to send that till, like, New Year's or so. Just so, you know, the mail business will calm itself down. Since I said socks were outgrown, which I am not surprised. Which is also why I wanted to send socks of larger size and see what happens. Because small humans grow out of socks very quickly. Which I can practically hear some people just rolling their eyes and be like, no shit. Alright, and how about I clean that wisp of line? Notice I have not gotten back to the hair, and I'm probably just gonna leave that for later, if not tomorrow. Just because... yeah, I think I need a break. Like, probably stare at someone else streaming and or... maybe. Well, not even maybe. Likely playing Animal Crossing and then some Hades. I'm getting back into that too. A wee bit. Which I really do need to try it on the PC. See if it doesn't lag. Hopefully not. Alright, and then... let's see how this looks. If I do not hate it, I will leave it alone for now. Although, arguably... yeah, okay. Yeah, it definitely should slant that way, so I'd say that's better than what I was going with. Because arguably it was that side, the shorter one, that was being annoying. Alright, so let me save, because it's after 4 right now, so I'm gonna probably take my leave. So this is what we have right now, pretty much almost all the line art minus Choker. Also, I apparently forgot to give her chin. Whoops. I will get to that, too. That should not take too long. I will get to that. Also... Alright, let's see. Alright. So, now that we're done for the day, I made progress. So, that was the main part of this. I was hoping to really get the colors today, but alas, it was not meant to be. So, that's a thing. But hopefully, anybody who's been hanging out here, lurking, while I've been working on the thing, I very much appreciate you all. Also, let's go to the face camera where it's dark, because it is after 4 already, so thus it's gonna start getting dark in here. It's fun. I hate this season. For a very good reason. Alright, so... I think I am likely gonna just let you guys go off into the wide world of Twitch right now. I don't feel like hosting anybody right now. Although, arguably I could, but I just don't feel like it today. So, again, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I will be back again Friday, where I'll be back to the yarn-related things. You all have a good rest of your evening, however long or short that may be, because, you know, time zones. Those are a thing, and I will hopefully see you guys again soon.